Welcome to today's English podcast. In this episode, we start a new story about a young man named Tom who moves to a new city called Riverford. This is part one of our long connected podcast series. Let's begin. Tom is 22 years old, and he has just moved to Riverford, a small but beautiful city near a large river. He comes from a quiet town, so the city feels very new and exciting to him. He arrives by bus early in the morning. The weather is cool, the sky is cloudy, and the air smells fresh after the rain. Tom looks around and says to himself, "This place looks different, but I think I'm going to like it here." He carries two big bags and a small backpack. He is a little tired, but he is also very curious about everything around him. There are small cafes, old buildings, many bicycles on the street, and people walking with coffee in their hands. Tom feels a mix of excitement and nervousness. His new apartment is in a neighborhood called Green Hill Street. It takes him 20 minutes to walk there from the bus station. On his way, he passes a bakery with warm bread smell, a bookstore with a cat sleeping in the window, a small park with children playing, a flower shop selling colorful roses and tulips. Tom stops in front of the flower shop because it reminds him of his mother. The smell of flowers makes him feel calm. When he finally arrives at his apartment building, he meets the building manager, Mrs. Harper, a friendly woman in her 50s. She smiles at Tom and says, "Welcome to Riverford. If you need anything, just knock on my door." Tom thanks her and goes to his room. The apartment is small but cozy. There is one bed, one desk, a small kitchen, and a window with a view of the river. He opens the window and takes a deep breath. For a moment, Tom feels lonely because he doesn't know anyone in the city yet. But then he reminds himself, this is a new beginning. I can meet new people. I can learn new things. After unpacking, Tom decides to go out and explore more of the city. He wants to find a cafe where he can drink tea and maybe talk to some locals. He takes his phone, puts on his jacket, and walks out the door with a small smile. He doesn't know it yet, but his first week in Riverford will bring new friends, unexpected adventures, and many interesting moments. And this is only the beginning. After leaving his apartment, Tom walks slowly down Greenhill Street. The air feels cool, and the city smells like flowers and fresh bread. Tom puts his hands in his jacket pockets. He feels a little nervous, but also excited, because everything is new for him. As he walks, he looks carefully at every shop and every person he sees. Riverford feels warm and friendly. The first cafe. Tom soon finds a small cafe on the corner. The name of the cafe is Morning Leaf. The door is green, and there are small plants in front of the windows. The sound of soft music comes from inside. Tom pushes the door and enters. The cafe is cozy and full of warm light. There are wooden tables, comfortable chairs, and the smell of coffee and tea in the air. A few people sit quietly, reading books or working on laptops. Behind the counter, a young woman smiles at him. "Hi, welcome to Morning Leaf. What would you like?" she asks. Tom smiles back. He feels a bit shy, but he answers, "Hi, can I have a cup of black tea, please?" "Of course," she says. "My name is Emma, by the way." Tom tells her his name, too. Then he sits near the window, where he can see the street and people walking by. When Emma brings the tea, she asks him, "So, are you new here?" "Yes," Tom says. "I just moved to Riverford today." "Oh, nice! Riverford is a good place. People are friendly. If you need any help, you can ask me." Tom feels happy when he hears that. He doesn't know anyone in the city, so Emma's kindness makes him feel more comfortable. A small conversation. After a few minutes, Emma finishes serving other customers and comes back to Tom's table. "So, why did you move here?" she asks. Tom thinks for a moment. "I wanted a fresh start, a new job, a new life. You know, something different." Emma nods. "I understand. I moved here 2 years ago. At first, I also felt alone, but later, everything became easier." Tom feels a little more relaxed. He looks outside and sees the river shining under the cloudy sky. Suddenly, Tom hears a loud noise from outside, something like a metal object falling on the ground. Clank! Tom turns his head to the window. On the street, he sees a young man trying to pick up a heavy box that fell from his bicycle. He looks confused and stressed. Emma sees it too. That's Lucas. He works at the flower shop next to the bakery. He always delivers flowers with his bicycle. Tom watches Lucas struggling. Without thinking too much, he stands up. "I think I should help him," Tom says. Emma smiles. "That's a good idea." Tom runs outside and reaches Lucas. "Hey, do you need help?" Tom asks. Lucas looks up and smiles gratefully. "Yes, please. The box is heavy. It has flower pots inside." Together, Tom and Lucas lift the box back onto the bicycle. Lucas wipes his forehead and laughs. "Thank you, man. I really needed help. I'm Lucas." "I'm Tom," he replies. "Nice to meet you." Lucas nods. "You're new here, right? I haven't seen you before." "Yeah, I just moved today." "Well, Riverford is a small city. People know each other quickly. If you ever need something, come to the flower shop. I'll help." Tom feels warm inside. In just one morning, he has already met 2 friendly people. Back to the cafe. When Tom goes back into the cafe, Emma laughs. "See? You're already making friends." Tom sits down and takes a sip of his tea. For the first time since arriving, he feels like Riverford might become a real home for him. He watches the people in the cafe, the river outside, and the little plants on the window, and he smiles softly. He doesn't know it yet, but meeting Emma and Lucas is only the beginning of something much bigger in this city. The first day is not over yet, and there are still many surprises waiting for him in Riverford. Tom woke up early the next morning, feeling more energized than the day before. Sunlight entered through the window and reflected softly on the river outside. He stretched, washed his face, and quickly decided, "Today I'm going to learn more about Riverford. I can't just stay in my room." After eating a simple breakfast, just toast and tea, he put on his jacket and left the apartment. As he walked down the stairs, he noticed that the building felt a bit livelier than yesterday. Someone upstairs was playing soft jazz music, and the hallway smelled faintly of fresh coffee. When Tom stepped outside, the morning air was cool and refreshing. He checked the small map Mrs. Harper had given him. There was a large place circled in red, Riverford Community Center. Under the circle, she had written, "Good place to meet people." Tom thought it was a good idea, so he started walking toward it. Arriving at the community center. The community center was bigger than Tom expected. The building had tall windows, lots of green plants, and people going in and out carrying sports bags, books, and even musical instruments. It felt like the heart of the city. Inside, the lobby was busy but bright and welcoming. A large board listed daily activities: yoga classes, painting workshops, volunteer meetings, language exchange groups, music nights. Tom didn't know where to start. As he looked around, A young woman with curly brown hair approached him. She wore a staff badge that said, "Lena, Coordinator." "Hi there. You look new. Can I help you with something?" she asked with a friendly smile. Tom smiled back. "Yes, actually. I just moved to Riverford yesterday. I'm trying to learn more about the city." Lena's eyes lit up. "Well, you came to the right place. We have something for everyone here." She handed Tom a printed schedule and pointed at several events. "If you want to meet people your age, I recommend the language exchange on Thursday or the evening social walk by the river. People are very welcoming." Tom felt relieved. That sounds perfect. Just as Tom was about to ask another question, they heard a sudden noise coming from the hallway on the right. Lena's eyes widened slightly. Oh no, not again. Before Tom could say anything, she hurried toward the hallway. Curious, he followed her. At the end of the corridor, they found a tall young man kneeling next to a spilled box full of art supplies, paint tubes, brushes, pencils rolling everywhere. The young man looked embarrassed as he muttered, "Great, first day helping and I already made a mess." Lena sighed with a smile. "Evan, what happened this time?" Evan looked up and saw Tom behind her. "The shelf is loose. I tried to fix it, but it fell, and then everything else fell." Tom stepped forward. "Do you need help?" Evan looked grateful. "Yes, please." Together, the three of them picked up the scattered supplies. Tom noticed that Evan seemed friendly, but a little shy. He was probably Tom's age, maybe 23 or 24. Once everything was back in the box, Lena crossed her arms jokingly. "You two should meet properly. Tom just moved to Riverford, and Evan just started working here yesterday." Evan raised his eyebrows. "Really? Then we're both new here." Tom laughed. "I guess that makes us teammates in confusion." Evan laughed too, his earlier embarrassment fading. A new invitation. Lena checked her watch. "I have a meeting now, but you two should join our Friday art workshop. Even if you're not good at painting, it's a good way to talk to people." Tom hesitated. "I'm really bad at art." Evan quickly said, "Same here, so we can be bad together." Tom laughed again. It felt good to laugh with someone. "All right," Tom said. "Count me in." Lena winked at them and walked away, leaving Tom and Evan standing in the hallway with the box of art supplies. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Evan broke the silence. "If you're free, I can show you some interesting spots around the city. I'm still exploring too, but maybe we can figure it out together." Tom considered it for a second. The idea of having company in this new city felt comforting. "Sure," Tom said with a smile. "Let's go." The beginning of a new friendship. As they walked out of the community center, the sun finally broke through the clouds, lighting up the streets of Riverford. Two strangers, both new, both unsure, were now taking their first steps toward a friendship that neither of them expected. Tom didn't know it yet, but meeting Evan would change his entire experience in Riverford. New adventures, new challenges, and new emotions were waiting for him. And this was only the next chapter. Tom walked with Maya toward the river, the soft evening wind brushing against their faces. Riverford looked completely different at night. Warm lights reflected on the water, people sat outside cafes laughing, and music drifted from street performers on the bridge. Tom felt as if he were slowly becoming part of the city instead of just a visitor. Maya pointed at a small wooden booth beside the river. "See that?" she said with excitement. "Riverford Night Market. It's only open on Fridays, and today is Friday. You're lucky." Tom's eyes widened. "What's in the market?" "Everything," Maya smiled. "Local food, handmade crafts, live music, travelers, artists, even strange stories." "Strange stories?" Tom repeated, raising an eyebrow. "You'll see." They entered the night market, and Tom immediately felt overwhelmed in a good way. There were rows of stalls decorated with lights, the smell of grilled food, spices, sweet cakes, and fresh tea mixing in the air. One stall sold carved wooden animals. Another sold colorful scarves made by local artists. Another had books that looked at least 50 years old. As they walked, Maya bought 2 cups of apple tea and gave one to Tom. "Welcome to your first Riverford Friday," she said playfully. Tom took a sip and felt the warmth spread through his chest. "Thanks. This city keeps surprising me." The strange old man. They continued walking, and at the far end of the market, Tom noticed an old man sitting alone behind a table with a small sign. "Stories for sale, 1 coin." There were no books, no papers, nothing on the table, just the man and the sign. Tom stopped. What does he sell? There's nothing here. Maya leaned closer. He sells stories. But how? He tells you a story, and some people say his stories come true. Tom laughed softly. "Come on, that can't be real." Maya shrugged. "Maybe, maybe not." The old man suddenly looked up at Tom with sharp blue eyes, as if he had heard them. "You," he said, pointing at Tom. "New boy from the quiet town. Come here." Tom froze. "How does he—" Maya nudged him. "Go on." Tom slowly walked up to the table. The old man's face was wrinkled but kind, his voice low yet strong. "You're standing at the beginning of a story, a big one, larger than you think." Tom blinked. "Me? Why?" "Because Riverford brought you here, not by accident." Tom felt a strange chill. "What kind of story?" The old man smiled. "You will find something, or maybe someone, and when you do, everything in your life will change." Tom's heart raced. "What am I supposed to find?" The old man shook his head. "That part," he said, "you must discover yourself." He placed a small wooden token on the table, a round piece with a river symbol carved on it. "Take this. When the time comes, you will know what to do with it." Tom hesitated but picked up the token. It was surprisingly warm in his hand. "Why me?" he asked. The old man simply whispered, "Because the river chooses." After the market. Tom and Maya walked away from the booth. Tom looked at the token again, confused and fascinated at the same time. "That was weird," he said. "Welcome to Riverford. Nothing is boring here." Tom laughed nervously. But something inside him felt different now, like a door had opened, and he couldn't close it, even if he wanted to. The invitation. As they were leaving the market, Maya stopped and turned to Tom. "Hey, do you want to come with me tomorrow to the art festival? I usually go alone, but it might be nice to have someone with me." Tom felt a warmth in his chest, this time not from the tea. "Yeah, I'd really like that." She smiled, and Tom couldn't help but smile back. The night ended with both of them walking slowly along the river, talking about music, books, favorite foods, strange dreams, and their hopes for the future. Tom felt lighter, happier, and more connected than he had in months. He didn't know it yet, but tomorrow's art festival would not only deepen his connection with Maya, it would also push him closer to the mysterious story the old man hinted at. A story that had already begun the moment Tom stepped into Riverford.